Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangam langhayate girim. Yat kripatam bande Shri Guru Niratarinam, Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. It's not working, no? Right.
Actually, there is no audio chart.
चले दिया लगा I'm feeling very fortunate to be in this place. And the first session I'm able to give to the devotees. I'm very happy. For the other bachas, it's very difficult to know what to speak. We cannot speak about going back home also. We cannot speak about intense devotional service, Guru Nishtha, nothing. Stability, peace of mind, happiness, success. So I'm very happy that I'm able to speak from Chaitanya Charitamrita here. While coming in the bus, I was remembering, in my childhood I had come to Srirangapatna here. So we had gone to the fort and then we went to Mysore Palace. I was just thinking that how fallen I am, that I don't remember at all of being to that temple where we had been. Going to Srirangapatna, I don't remember at all. And also when I was standing in front of the deity, just about to enter. So I was just thinking that how Srila Prabhupada has changed our life. I'm sure all of us, before coming to ISKCON, before practicing devotional service, whenever we go to any temple, we'll always keep our desires in front of the Lord, saying, I want this material thing, I want that material thing, right? I don't know if you've prayed anything material today. But I'm sure that one desire will be there in each devotee, that I want to advance in spiritual life. I want to attain Krishna. I want to get taste in the holy name Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm sure this desire will be there in each devotee. Maybe covered with some other material desires of a promotion and of a good match and what. So, but then Srila Prabhupada has changed our life. This is what I was meditating on. There was a time when there was a list of desires, that too big desires of material desires. And now we have desires, which are big spiritual desires of obtaining Krishna. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So we are discussing a pastime where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is visiting Sri Lanka. So not sure if Lord Chaitanya came to this place, but then he came to Sri Lanka. So as I was telling the bus also, that Kaveri Maya, when she prayed to the Lord, that so many people are coming and dumping their sins in me. How should I get purified? And Lord appears and he says, I will be there at three places. Adiranga, Madhyaranga and Antyaranga. So we are sitting in Adiranga Kshetra. So Adiranga, where we have Srirangapatna, Madhyaranga is Ananta Shayana, and Antyaranga is Srirangam. So I was hearing, I just overheard some visitors in the temple. So they were telling that one should visit all the three places in one day. Then his darshan is successful. And he was educating people. That early morning we have to come to this place and then go to Madhyaranga, then go to Antyaranga. So in general, when it comes to people, they have some ritual in the mind and they feel if I do this, everything will become auspicious. But we devotees, we know that everything else is secondary for us. But sitting together and having Krishna Katha is something which is very, very primary. Without that, our yatra cannot be a yatra. I remember being in yatra, we were just walking, taking darshan after darshan in Vrindavan and Mayapur. But that nourishment was not there, that fulfillment was not there. Even if we skip some darshan and sit together and have some discussion, obviously darshan is a very important part of a yatra, but say, given an option, katha and darshan, we should always choose katha. Why? After all, with these eyes, what darshan can we take? I remember that past time when everyone was sitting in Vrindavan in Saraswati Thakur's class. And there's an option given: Vrindavan Parikrama, Darshan, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's class. So many people got up and they went for Parikrama. And Prabhupada was sitting, and then a few other sannyasis were sitting. And then Saraswati Thakur very heavily he said, "What can they see there? What can they see? They will just go there and do eye exercise and nothing else." Yes? But actual darshan, according to Shastra, is through ears. As I was telling you in the class, that first we have to perfect hearing the holy name, chanting and hearing the holy name. Next comes, that is the revelation of form of the Lord. The next after that is the revelation of the Leelas of the Lord, Gunas of the Lord, and Dham of the Lord. So these are the different, this is a sequence of revelation. So this is very important for devotees to understand. Whenever we get this opportunity to hear Krishna Katha, we should be very eager. Especially sitting in Dham like this and hearing, away from Bangalore. And you have no option but to listen to me sitting here. At least in the base you can think, now you'll go and then I'll go do this, do that. You can do nothing here. Nothing. Only when I end class you get prasad. As Krishna says, Macchitta Madgata Prana Parasparam Kathaindascha Nityam Tushyanti Ramanti. Some lips are not moving still. Please memorize these shlokas. Krishna is telling, this is the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, second shloka, where Krishna is saying, what my devotees do when they come together. They come together, Macchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantaha Parasparam. They come together and discuss about me. And what happens? Kathayantascha Mam Nityam, they discuss about me. Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha, they become satisfied. Ramanti cha, they become very useful. So let's discuss this very, very wonderful section from second, that's Madhya Leela, 9th chapter, 79th shloka onwards.
Chapter 9.
Madhya Leela, chapter 9, shloka 79 onwards. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a lot of mercy in South India. This much mercy he didn't give anywhere. Full South India delivered. Just by his walk, just by his chant. He comes to a place called Srirangapatna. Now see, understand, we as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are very staunch. We are attached to 200 form of the Lord, that too, the Lord in Vrindavan, Shyama Sundar. We are very clear about this. The one who is holding flute, besides whom Srimati Radharani is standing. We don't want any other form. We are not interested in any other form. Then how is it that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he is going to different places, he was so ecstatic. He would see them jump in ecstasy and dance and chant, and there's an amazing preaching what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing there. He would do kirtan in the temple, people would come to take darshan, they would hear kirtan, and they would go mad, they would keep chanting continuously till they reach their home, and hearing their chanting in the home, others would start chanting. They would go out, hearing them, others would start chanting. And like that, the entire village would keep chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This was Lord's preaching. But then my question is, see, Jagannath we understand, he is Krishna himself. But then when he is taking darshan of Ranganath, who is Vishnu, when he is taking darshan of some other deity, say Padmanabh Swami, or some other deity, that is Udupi Krishna or Vitthal Dev of Pandharpur, how is it that he is going mad and going embracing the deities and jumping around? He is attached to only Krishna. Then it doesn't fit in our philosophy. How to understand this?
See, any form of now.
So as it is described, what is that shloka where Ishta Deva Spurti? Sthavara Jangama dekhe na dekhe tar murti sarvatra nija hoy Ishta Deva Spurti. So here it is described that for a devotee, he sees Sthavara, that is inanimate, he sees Jangama, animate. Any inanimate or animate thing a devotee sees and perceives, the only thing that he can perceive is Ishtadev, his Ishtadev. Now, when a person is seeing stone and when he's seeing some plant, he's remembering Krishna. If he sees Vishnu, he will not remember Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see any form of the Lord, and only thing that he can take darshan of is the beautiful Tribhanga feature holding the flute with a peacock feather on the head. That form of Shyama Sundar. That form. So we Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are very, very staunch, ekdam kattar. We are attached to Lord. Even if we are not attached, we should stop. We should speak about it. Maybe one day we'll get attached. Yes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Srirangam, and Srirangam has the same similar deity, huge deity. I remember going for a pre-yatra to organize a yatra for IYF boys. But after going there, we realized we cannot organize. So I was feeling very fortunate. At least I got darshan of the Lord. So a huge deity, and the Lord would have taken darshan of this deity, and it is described that he was jumping in ecstasy. He was chanting the holy names, completely ecstatic. At that time, a very, very fortunate person enters that place, and his name is Venkata Bhatta. Venkata Bhatta is a very important person for all of us because he's father of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So very, very important person for all of us. But here, Venkata Bhatta was following Sri Vaishnavism. He was the follower of Ramanujacharya. You can read this section yourself. Since the time is less, I will not go through the shlokas and speak. I'll just summarize. So Venkata Bhatta, such an amazing Vaishnava, Grihastha Vaishnava. As soon as he saw a renunciant, he invited him. Because he could understand one thing, that he is not an ordinary person. Chanting and crying like this. See, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would cry, everyone could understand that he is not an ordinary person. Because his tears would not flow like this, his tears would flow like this. Pichkari in childhood? Yes. Literally tears would flow like this. I have seen some paintings in Jagannath Puri and Mayapur. So where Lord is standing here and his tears are flowing like this, and the person standing in front is getting wet. Can you try crying like this? Do whatever you want. It cannot come like this. It cannot come like this. Means you can imagine if the water has to come like this, means how much intensity will be there inside. What intensity will be there when calling out the Lord? So Venkata Bhatta understood, an ordinary saint. And he took the chance. See, always we devotees should have our eyes open and keep seeing where can we get the chance to serve a Vaishnava. How can I grab the opportunity to seek mercy? We have to be always very, very vigilant about this. And Venkata Bhatta did this. As soon as he saw, he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that please come to my place. This is the Grihastha Dharma where the Grihasthas will invite the renunciants home or the devotees home, and they will serve the devotees. Yes. Especially now in this world, in Kali Yuga, when only nuclear families are there, kids cannot understand why should I respect my parents. They cannot understand. How will they understand? They have to see someone, not to understand. They are not able to understand because parents are ordering kids. That's what they are seeing throughout their life. Wife is ordering husband, and wife is ordering kids also. So everywhere wife is ordering. The only thing that the kids are seeing is someone is ordering all the time. And the kids, as soon as the father tells something or the mother tells something, the kids will say that why should I? Arey, bad. Switch off the fan. Okay. Switch off the fan. It's okay, sit. It will not do anything. Now I'm just worried because it will get stuck in the fan and So if the kids have to learn, then at least now in this age, the Grihastha should invite Vaishnavas and serve them and show them what it means to serve. And it's so wonderful. In Venkata Bhatta's house, every day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in the house only. Every day, Venkata Bhatta was getting the opportunity to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Different Brahmanas and sannyasis would invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to their home. And Lord would go and accept their seva. Bless them very nicely. In fact, it is described that the invitation was so much that many Brahmanas would not get the chance to invite the Lord. Because lunch you'll have only once, no? How many times? Everyone wants to invite for lunch and dinner, how many times you'll have? So few people got the chance. Now what happened is Venkata he used his intelligence and he said that, oh Lord, Chaturmasya has started and you cannot travel now. So I request you that please stay at my home. For your information, Chaturmasya is going on now. Yes. So sannyasis don't travel because of the rains and other things. They'll stay at one place, they'll do their bhajan, and then after Chaturmas gets over, they'll go out. So here, Venkata he used this opportunity and he said that Chaturmas is going on, so please stay back. And Lord said, okay. And Lord stayed back. 4 months Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stays in someone's house. Can you imagine the fortune of that person? I don't know if you can comprehend also. Supreme Lord staying in someone's house to accept service. And in that, there was one very, very great personality who was just Chutku. Gopal. And then Gopal would come and see what the father is doing, and what Lord is doing. And then sometimes he would go and then he would serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would ask him to sit on his lap. Sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would, please hear this carefully. He'll remove Mahaprasad from his plate and then he'll give it to Gopal Bhatta. And Gopal Bhatta would eat. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Directly remnants from Lord's plate. Gopal Bhatta Goswami was getting. He was not Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was Gopal. Yes. He was seeing Lord face to face. He was seeing what are the activities of the Lord. And just by seeing the Lord every day, and just by having remnants of the Lord every day, Gopal fell in love with the Lord. He just fell in love with the Lord. We'll keep this suspense for some time. Every day Lord would go to visit this temple, Srirangapatna temple, to take darshan of Ranganath. One day he came there and then he saw a Brahmana. I'm sure all of you might have heard about the South Indian Brahmana reciting Bhagavad Gita. He was reciting Bhagavad Gita. And when he was reciting Bhagavad Gita, he was crying profusely. And Lord could see that there were various other Brahmanas who were teasing this person. You don't know how to read, you don't know how to pronounce the shlokas, etc. etc. And he was crying. So Lord went to him and he said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm trying to read Bhagavad Gita. I'm sometimes successful, sometimes not. But I complete all the 18 chapters every day. Now don't compare his reading with our reading. Somehow 30 minutes done, sadhana can't report it. No, not that somehow. He's somehow something else. So Lord asked him, are you crying because all of them are teasing you? And he said, no. He was not affected. And then the discussion goes on a bit deep. But when I was reading this while coming in the bus, I was just thinking that, see, even in devotee association, it's understood that it's not that everyone is Paramahamsa sitting around us. We'll be in saffron white and white, putting nice tilak, nice mantrimala, yes, holy name on the tongue, and then bead bag around the neck, sometimes chanting intensely, sometimes hearing rarely the holy name. So, see, we might be doing all this, but then we cannot expect every Vaishnava around us to be a Paramahamsa, correct? But, you know what? We do expect everyone to be a Paramahamsa. We actually expect an ideal behavior from every devotee. And as soon as some devotee commits some mistake, or as soon as the devotee starts chastising us, and things like that, have you noticed one thing? Our respect for the devotee goes down. How many of you have realized this? Everyone, right? I thought I'm the only realized one. Just, why does the respect go down? Because our expectation about the devotee is like, hey, he's a devotee. How can he speak like this? How can he behave like this? So that basically goes on to say that our expectation is that a devotee has to be very ideal. When we look into the mirror and put tilak, at that time we don't think this devotee in the mirror should be ideal. Yes? But then when we treat devotees around, when we see devotees around, we want the devotees to be ideal. So it's a very, very important thing which we all have to know, that when we are in the association of devotees, our expectation should be very clear. What should I expect from these devotees around? Then we can enjoy devotee association. Now, many times people say, no, the devotee association is blissful. But then when the devotees come and complain about other devotees to me, that statement doesn't seem true. It feels like the devotees are miserable in the association of devotees. Miserable. Sometimes, one devotee told me something, the talk was going on, and the devotee was just telling a lot of complaints to me. I was okay, I was just tolerating. And then the devotee made a statement. Prji, I think that outside people are much better than the devotees. And I think that was a full stop to his talk. I couldn't tolerate that. See, how a devotee can make such a statement, because our expectation is not clear from other devotees. See, our expectation should be very clear, and it should be practical also. So when we are talking or when we are living in the association of devotees, our expectation should be the devotee should chant 16 rounds, follow 4 relative principles, be in Vaishnava attire, have Krishna Prasadam, get up for Mangalarti. Once in a while, miss, no problem, if I don't get to know. Yes. So, this should be an expectation. Abhi isse zyada kya expectation chahiye? What else we should expect from a devotee? Oh, he shouldn't scold, he should always be smiling, and he shouldn't ever get angry. And whenever I talk to him, he should always talk blissfully to me. He shouldn't have mood swings. This is not proper. Yes? So when our expectation is not clear, our tendency to commit Vaishnava aparadha will keep increasing. This is very, very important. When expectation is not clear, tendency to commit Vaishnava aparadha will keep increasing. We'll keep committing Vaishnava aparadha more and more and more. And then after that, a day will come when we'll tell this dialogue. I think outside people are much better than devotees, and then we'll shift outside. And then out of bhakti. Again, next lifetime, Festival of Enlightenment, level 1, level 2. Spiritual retreat 1 and 2. Yes. So, just see, look at this Brahmana. Everyone was laughing around him, but he was not affected. Yes. So, when devotees around us say, seemingly are troubling us, why do we get affected? It's not the problem with them, it's the problem with us. In Kali Yuga, it's easy. Human beings, ego means problem, that will be there. But this Brahmana was deep in his meditation, deep in his service. He was not affected by people around. Can you imagine? Everyone is laughing at you. Everyone is just laughing at you in the assembly. And everyone knows whom they are laughing at. And every other person who comes to that place, that person also gets to know whom that person is. So why other people are laughing? Everyone will get to know. Can you tell me how the person will feel at that time? He will be miserable in that association. But can you imagine, when it comes to this particular Brahmana, he was not affected at all. Yes. Because he was deep. He was deep in his mood, he was deep in his service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very eager to know. Sometimes I really wonder how much drama our Lord does. He'll go and ask him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking him, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Are you crying because all of them are laughing at you? And then just turn that speaker. Is it that you're crying because all of them are teasing you? And the Brahmana is like, no. Then why are you crying? And then the Brahmana reveals something very great. He says that I don't know what this Bhagavad Gita is all about. I don't understand Sanskrit properly because I am not very literate. But then, my spiritual master has ordered me to read Bhagavad Gita every day, so every day I complete 18 chapters. Every day. Sometimes I am able to read, sometimes I am not able to pronounce properly, but I do it every day. This is called Guru Nishta. When the instruction is given by Sri Guru, we just follow. We just follow. Doesn't matter I have qualification or not. This pastime is very deep. Very deep. We can understand, look at this person. He does not have any qualification, like illiterate. He does not know completely how to read Sanskrit, but he's still reading. He's reading. Now let's see, what's happening here. Let's try to understand the background here and what we can learn. So when the spiritual master gives some instruction, as I was telling the other day also, At least we should meditate on that. If not able to implement immediately, at least meditate on that. Yes? Like Srila Prabhupada did. 1922 he gets the instruction. And then again Prabhupada writes, just few days before the departure of Saraswati Thakur, that Guru Maharaj, how can I serve you? And again his Guru Maharaj tells him that preach in the West in English language. And then Prabhupada understands, I cannot escape from this. And then he's just meditating on it. See, his meditation is not like, मैं करना चाहता हूँ लेकिन अभी मन नहीं है मेरा. I got a devotee step or something. थोड़ा नींद आ रहा है अभी आप service. Not like that. He used to go to Shantipur in front of Advaita Acharya's house and he used to profusely cry. And he would keep crying and keep asking, how will I do this task? I'm an old man, how will I do this task? And this Prabhupada was doing right from the time when he was a Grihastha. Every time when he'll get chance, he'll go to Shantipur and go sit there and cry. And the Pujari there, he in an interview reveals this. And then, when and never that Pujari spoke to Srila Prabhupada. Never. And then, what happened is the Western disciples came after many, many years. Western disciples came to the same place. And they all, started talking. They all were there around, they were chanting Hare Krishna. This Pujari was very inquisitive. He went and he asked, who are you people? Whose disciples are you? And then they show a Back to God magazine and they turn and there was Prabhupada's photo and we are his disciple, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And he said, I know this person. When he was a Grihastha, he was coming every day. He was coming every day. And then he also made a statement that one day he came in saffron clothes here. He was sitting and he was profusely crying. And after that time, I have never seen him here. And now today I am seeing him through you all. Can you imagine? Prabhupada's intense meditation. Every single day when he was staying in Radha Damodar temple, he would wipe or he would clean near the samadhi of Rupa Goswami and keep crying. To such an extent, one day Rupa Goswami came out of the samadhi. I don't know if you all know this. Rupa Goswami came out of the samadhi and then he told Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, you go ahead, we are with you. Must over, no? Say you're not able to do registrations. And he was so intense. And then at night, at Simantadweep base or Rudradweep, in front of the altar, you just, cleaning the floor and just crying that how do I attain this? 10 passes in a week. How will this happen? And just imagine out of that entire parampara, photo comes out. Not personality, photo comes out and all of them they say, you go ahead, we'll do it. On a very serious note, can you imagine Prabhupada's meditation? Like, he knows now current situation is not supporting to execute the instruction of the spiritual master, but then his meditation is so intense. He's just meditating on it. Somehow or the other I want to accomplish this. And it's not that he stopped, right? He set up League of Devotees in Jhansi. It didn't work. He was distributing Back to God magazine. He was running around to different places in that old age to publish his three parts of the first canto. So he didn't stop. This is called as, at least we should meditate on the instruction of the spiritual master. And when we meditate, you know what happens? The second thing that happens is, we get empowerment. This is what we see. That's why we call him empowered Acharya Srila Prabhupada. He was empowered. Empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, empowered by his own spiritual master. We get empowered. And when we get empowered, then marvelous things can be done. I think Prabhupada is the example for all of us. And now look at this personality in our discussion, the South Indian Brahmana. He was crying and profusely was crying, not understanding what it is, what Bhagavad Gita is actually talking about. But then, since he was meditating on the instruction and somehow trying to implement the instruction, he was empowered to do devotional service. And since he was empowered, the tears were flowing from his eyes with the realization which he shared with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that I don't know what Bhagavad Gita is all about, but when I see this picture, when I meditate, that how my Supreme Personality of Godhead my Lord, Lord Shri Krishna, whom Sahasra Lakshmis are serving in Vaikuntha planets. He became the chariot driver of his own devotee Arjuna, just thinking about how my Lord is Bhakta Vatsal. I am not able to stop crying. Now this is the first empowerment that he has got. Now see, his service, what he was doing, it was not a perfect service, it was an imperfect service that he was doing. But the perfection was in his mood. This was the first empowerment that he got. He was doing, and then he was able to realize the Bhakta Vatsalya mood of Lord Shri Krishna. The first thing, a strong realization. And now when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hears this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts crying. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts crying, you must imagine if he embraced some of what happens. He embraced the Brahmana. And he said, truly you have understood the whole thing. Their ISKCON devotees were not there around. If ISKCON devotees would have been there, what they would have said? Haribol! Yes, hearing the dialogue of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was the second empowerment that was there. Second empowerment where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is embracing him. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraces, it is not like our embrace where we embrace and we are sweating, our sweat gets stuck. It's not that embrace. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's embrace is, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraces, love of Godhead is bestowed in the heart of the devotee. And after that, that Brahmana started crying more profusely. Here we can see the Guru Nishtha. This is called Guru Nishtha. Even if it's externally, I might not be able to execute the instruction very perfectly, but then internally at least I can have a perfect mood that I want to serve Sri Guru. So when we all devotees, when we are part of ISKCON, one thing has to be very clear to us that what instruction we have got in the parampara, that's actually a very, very great treasure which we all have. Yes. Servant means, with a bona fide service. And we all have got a bona fide service. We have nothing in ISKCON apart from preaching. Everything is preaching in ISKCON. Be it the Pujari Seva, be it the gift shop Seva, be it the cleaning Seva, be it vessel washing Seva, be it cooking Seva, be it giving a class, or be it pass distribution, be it anything in ISKCON. Everything is actually preaching because everything aids the preaching to spread the Krishna consciousness mission. We have got this bona fide service. So, doesn't matter what is our capacity. Some devotee can give maybe 12 hours in service. Some devotee can maybe give 12 minutes. 12 seconds नहीं होना चाहिए. थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा 12 seconds. Yes. So it doesn't matter. But then if we have a proper mood and we are giving our best, fully busy, but then उसमें से एकदम squeeze out करके time निकाल के when we do service, it might be imperfect, but the mood is perfect. Empowerment will come. Yes. Like this, we see the South Indian Brahmana was empowered in various ways to do devotional service, and his life was very blissful. The first thing that we saw about South Indian Brahmana is he was very deep in his service attitude, and because of that, he was not affected by whatever people around were telling him. He was perfect in his mood of service to his spiritual master. So because of that, now he was able to realize the greatest truth, and that is the mood of the Lord towards his devotees. It was not easy to understand. If everyone can understand this mood, I don't think anyone will skip joining Brahmacharya. I don't think so. Yes, because that mood, to understand how Lord takes care of his devotees doesn't matter. Now what happens in the life of the devotee doesn't matter. That confidence the Lord will take care. This is a very different, deep realization, which very few devotees have. This Brahmana got. And the second empowerment or a second mercy that he got was the direct embrace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tears falling on him. In Mangalarti and other pujas, when the water is sprinkled, we go close and then water. We are so happy. I don't know about we. Initially we were. Now it's just a ritual. But have you seen the newcomers when they come? They're so eager, they all come and then अगर पानी नहीं गिरा तो I have seen this personally. Yes. अभी सीनियर हो गए ना हम लोग वो भी नहीं चाहिए डायरेक्ट चैतन्य महाप्रभु का आश्रय चाहिए so on a serious note we see all this so in this way we have to meditate that how can we also have perfect mood in our devotional service. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy meeting this Brahmana, very happy meeting this Brahmana. Recently I was meditating on this point that how can we please our acharyas? How can we please Srila Prabhupada? I was meditating on this point. I was just thinking, if I can attain Krishna this life, how proud Prabhupada will be, right? Krishna would appreciate Srila Prabhupada. How proud Prabhupada will be. Because through him we have got delivered, right? How proud Prabhupada will be. So when we jump in ecstasy, and we chant Prabhupada! Jai Jai Prabhupada. I don't know, devotees come in ecstasy like Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Yes. I don't know what that ecstasy is, jumping ecstasy or from the heart. But when we're jumping, that mood can come that Prabhupada, I want to make you feel proud. I want to make you feel proud. I'm yours. I'm completely yours. I want to make you feel proud. And this meditation, that if I attain Krishna, Prabhupada will be very proud. In one of the class, I was just telling and then I was just imagining also, that if we attain Krishna, all the acharyas in our parampara, Prabhupada, led by Prabhupada and our spiritual master, they will remove their uttari and this person. This is the greatest service that we can do, to all our actually lives and Karani. This is the greatest service that we can do, attain Krishna in this life. We should have an intense mood. खुद के लिए नहीं attain करना. Just so that we can make these personalities feel proud about us. How much proud Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling about this personality? He's feeling so nice meeting this personality. Why can't we meditate on this? Not to attain Krishna. Not to escape from the miseries of this world. तो हो जाएगा. That's a byproduct. But then how much proud our spiritual master will be, how much proud Srila Prabhupada will be, and how much pleasure they will get. This meditation we as devotees should have. In Kirtans when we jump, we can tell Prabhupada, I'm yours. I'm yours. Yes. So whenever Guru Puja happens, I always look at Srila Prabhupada and I keep jumping. Some prayers in the mind. So it really helps. It really helps. I'm yours. I'm yours. You can deliver me. And I want to make you feel proud of Srila Prabhupada. I want to make you feel proud. It's very nice to sing. Chakshudan dilo jay janme janme prabhu se divya gyan hriday prakashito. And that's the beat changes. The karta beat changes. Steps will change. Yes. But do you understand the meaning of this? Chakshudan dilo jay janme janme prabhu se. And we are happy. My spiritual master will come again. Next life also I'll sing this. Next life also I'll give it. And many lifetimes he has given. No? Sometimes I feel myself to be shameless when I dance. No, I'm singing that. I troubled my spiritual master. The Guru Tattva in so many lifetimes. So many lifetimes, and I am not yet attained success in spiritual life. I am not attained Krishna. Chakshudan niloje janme janme Prabhu se divya gyan hriday prakashito. No, they are doing that for us. But then what to do that seriousness doesn't come? And we keep changing tune and keep dancing every lifetime. Yes. So this meditation is very, very important. That I want to make my superiors, my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and all the acharyas in line very, very proud. I want to give them pleasure. I always remember when I talk about giving pleasure, I remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu holding the dead body of Haridas Thakur and jumping in ecstasy. Have you heard about any pastime anywhere in Bhagavatam, anywhere? In Lord Ramchandra's Lila we see that when Jatayu died, so he was there on his lap, that's it. He didn't pick Jatayu and start jumping in ecstasy. But look at this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the only time, what according to my limited knowledge, Lord is picking up the dead body of his devotee and is jumping in ecstasy. I was thinking, what was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thinking at that time? How much proud he was feeling about the personality whom he is holding. Yes. And he himself was going and begging people around that we want to do this ceremony, the death ceremony or the disappearance ceremony of Haridas Thakur. He is going and begging personally And the devotees couldn't see this Lord going and begging. They said, Mahaprabhu will do it, come here. And the devotees were. So when I was hearing that passion, I was thinking that how much pleasure Haridas Thakur gave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That even after he passes away, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is picking up the dead body and is jumping in ecstasy and dancing. This is life meant for, giving pleasure. Giving pleasure, to one's superiors, to one's spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada, to the entire parampara. A very, very important meditation which all of us can have today. That what am I doing to give pleasure to these great personalities? And one intense desire we should have is, I want to attain Krishna. By that, all these personalities will be completely satisfied. They'll take in their book. One got delivered from this material world. They'll be so happy. So in this way, the South Indian Brahmana, he gave a lot of pleasure to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to such an extent. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu couldn't hold himself. He directly went and gave him a tight embrace and he cried. After this incident, every day this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come take darshan of the Lord, go home. Coming back to Gopal Bhatta. Every day going home, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having prasad served by Venkata Bhatta and his good wife. And the little Gopal would come and then he would also do some seva. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being very, very magnanimous and merciful, he will give some prasad to Gopal and Gopal would eat it very nicely. Now, just by looking at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day, taking his darshan, having the remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopal got completely attached and fell in love with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very much attached to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to such an extent. See, I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm not talking about a very elderly, mature person like all of us. I'm talking about a small boy. And he gets attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to such an extent. Chaturmas finished and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided, I will leave. And he is about to leave and Gopal is going crazy, crying. To such an extent that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to stay back a few more days. Can you imagine the attachment that Gopal developed for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Yes. And then Gopal decided that if Lord is going, I'll follow him. Small boy. It is I'll follow him. So that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him that you serve your parents. Because his parents were devotees. Serve your parents. ज़्यादा ऐसा मिस्टेक नहीं करना और बेस्ट के घर जाएंगे और आनंद गार्लिक का प्रसाद खाएंगे yes so he was serving and you know what just by the stay of Lord for 4 months in the house of Venkata Bhatta, I don't know if this has happened in the history, a Sri Vaishnava got converted to a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Yes. I don't know if Sri Vaishnava will say Haribol. So there, in the 4 months, there were intense discussions. Part 2 of this Harishilpa will be taking. So I'm not able to hold myself, so I'm just being the spoiler. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking a question to Venkata Bhatta. I understand that Lakshmi Devi is very chaste to Vishnu. But then I have a question. Then why did she came to associate with Krishna? Then Venkata Bhatta very innocently said, Krishna Vishnu same only, no? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is again asking a question. If Krishna Vishnu same, then why Lakshmi was not allowed in the Rasa Leela? And Venkata Bhatta is like, oh Lord, I don't know anything about it. Please enlighten me. And then Lord enlightened that you hear in the part 2. So here about Gopal Bhatta Goswami, in those 4 months, the husband and wife, they got transformed, the child got transformed, all of them got attached, so much attached to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya instructed Gopal Bhatta that you take care of your parents till their last breath, and after that you come to me. And then through the entire, whatever span Gopal was away from the Lord, the only thing that he could do was feel the separation